So what is ADHD? Yeah, I hear these questions a lot. Some friends of mine, some people when I talk about this thing on internet, you see a lot. I think a lot of people are very curious. Do I have ADHD? Does my children have? Or do my children have? Or my students? If I'm a teacher, you know. So my intention here is to explain you what is ADHD, but with the point of view of someone with real ADHD, because it's very clear that I can explain why. And that's my intention, that's my mission. So my idea is to help as much as possible. And because I didn't have much help, and if I had, I think my life would be a bit easier. My life wasn't great for most part of my life, but nowadays, yes, it's very great. It is great, and I'm enjoying my life. So before starting, I'm Mauricio. This is my new channel, MG and ADHD. My purpose here, my mission is to help as much as possible of people who are curious about what is ADHD or about all those words that's in the banner of my YouTube channel. All right, I was born and raised in Brazil, so I'm Brazilian, Latino, and I moved overseas nearly 10 years ago. I'm 39, so I moved when I was nearly 30, but I just got diagnosed with ADHD when I was 35, so 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago, nearly 5. And that changed my life. Okay, so let's go to the topic. So what is ADHD? As I said, a lot of people ask. I have some friends, they say, I might have, can you explain me more so I can maybe figure out if I have or not? Because I think I have. I heard someone saying, I think I used to have, but now it's gone. Okay, sorry, but it's not like that. So ADHD actually is how your brain is built, is formed, right? So it's a issue, not issue, but let's put like this. ADHD brain is different, right? So there is I don't want to be technical, but that's not my intention, but they call normal brain, a normal person, as a neurotypical, and who has ADHD, autism, or other conditions, neurodivergent. So in this situation, I'm a neurodivergent, right? So how can we tell that you have ADHD or not? So in the technical way still, so the brain is a bit different. I've read some studies, or I've seen things on the internet when I was researching a lot. The brain, it takes a bit longer to fully develop, and mainly in the front part of the brain. And there are some image scans showing how the ADHD brain reacts. Let's say the areas of stimulations are different from a normal brain. So this is very clear. It's possible to see this through scans. But let's go to the real world. How is ADHD in the real world, with the easy words as well to understand. So my experience, I'll tell you now. So when someone asks me, I ask back a lot of questions to understand if they have or know these characteristics. Most of them know. I think one person that I know that might have, but most not. People are just anxious. People are just rushing their very busy life. They're in a very stressed situation or moment of their life, and they think it is ADHD, right? So I think the first thing that was more challenging for me is not be able to sleep. I struggle to sleep most of my life. I start sleeping properly after I start treating ADHD with medication. So basically, in short, the brain of ADHD is super fast. Is running at 900 kilometers per hour, 24/7, non-stop. So it's very active all the time. So they say ADHD, attention disorder, hyperactivity disorder. So what's the common thing is, who has ADHD cannot focus. I wouldn't put like that. I would just change a little bit. Actually, ADHD brain is super focused on everything at the same time, most of the time. So I'm talking to someone, I'm listening to someone, let's say a teacher, for example. And then my brain, because the topic is not of my main interest, sometimes it is of my interest, but then my brain just go away. I can hear people chit-chatting on this side. I can hear the curtains making noise. I can hear something in the kitchen. I can hear the cars outside. If I'm in the street, I can hear all the sounds and noises at the same time, and this is annoying. This is overwhelming. And because the brain is always connected, always focused, you start switching your focus from one thing to another multiple times all the time. And that's why you lose your focus on something that you were supposed, because let's say in the school, you go to school, you are supposed to pay attention to the tasks and things that teacher is saying or giving. But then it's boring, right? You wanna pay attention, or you're thinking about the game you had yesterday, the play date you're gonna have the next weekend with your friends. You're excited with your friend brought a new toy, you got a new toy, you wanna play a new game, you wanna do something different, and the teacher is there in front of you talking and try to get your attention. And you try your best, but it doesn't last. It lasts 2 minutes and then you go away again. And this keeps going on and on and on and on. So that's the main characteristic of ADHD brain. And then when you take medication, what the medication does, most of them, it kind of try to slow down your brain. Let's put like that. So my brain is 900 kilometers per hour. It goes down to 200, 300. It doesn't go to normal speed as like normal person. It's still fast. It's still busy. It's still focusing on a lot of things, but less, right? That's one main characteristic of when the medication really works, right? Another point is because the brain is fully connected all the time, it can create, we experience high sensibility. For example, in the skin, I can feel more cold or more hot than normal people. So if I grab a mug that's hot, for me it might even burn. Other people doesn't. Like my wife, for example, my son, and that's very normal. I'm more ticklish, so yeah, my skin is more. I feel ticklish easy since I was kid. And another for me is the auditive sensibility. So I can hear things far. I can hear very tiny noises, and I cannot just hear them. My brain focuses on that so much at the point I cannot sleep. At the point I cannot focus on something else. I need to go there and do something, because this creates anxiety, because I need to do something. That thing is killing me, virtually saying, right, in my mind. And that's why I couldn't sleep. Someone is snoring. I cannot sleep at all. If I have a clock, I remember my house when I was a kid. I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's a clock, and then I can hear the tick, tick, tick. I cannot sleep. I need to remove the clock or remove the battery. I used to work. I started working when I was 20ish. I started going to different cities, traveling for work, and then I get to the hotels, and the hotels always has a clock, and always has a fridge, a mini fridge. And then a mini fridge, the compressor keeps changing. So I cannot sleep with that. So what I do, I need to pull the plug and turn it off. I need to go into the clock and remove the battery. Then I can sleep. If there is a drop in the kitchen, the sink just dripping from the faucet. Tick, tick, tick. Oh my God, no, I cannot sleep. It's a torture. Oh my goodness. Until nowadays, even medicated, sometimes, some days or some nights, I struggle to sleep. It's a bit annoying. So, and I think the other thing that used to happen to me is overwhelmed by stimulation. Let's say going for shopping. So yeah, I was a kid. My mom dragged me to go to the mall, and because she needs to buy something, shopping, and she and my auntie keep browsing things, and I was just there, oh my God. And that sound, everybody chit-chatting, every sound, the sound of plastics, the sound of people walking and kids crying and blah 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 blah, and music and salesperson shouting, "Yeah, come here, promotion!" All of this at the same time, I want to explode. So when I was very small, like 5, 6, 7, I think I used to cry. The stimulation, it can be very similar to autism, to autistic people. In certain level, it's similar. I think the autistic people is much severe, much stronger, intense, but in certain aspect, I think it's very similar, because too much stimulation, you struggle. It's painful. You don't know what to do, right? So that's another characteristic. I had an episode in Tokyo. I went there in Japan for holidays last year. And then when we were shopping in Tokyo, already tired, it was the end of the day. I started feeling so sad, so bad. I want to cry. I was feeling bad. I was nearly having a panic attack. And I didn't prepare. I should have prepared, because I got a device. Like, you can bring a headphone, put a very low music, calming music, low enough to hear, but never too high volume, because you still want to be connected to the outside. Because the idea is to try to shift your attention, your brain, to this background music, so you don't pay too much attention to the outside that's overstimulating you. And I didn't do that, so that was painful. So yeah, that's some of the main characteristics. But there is one more, that when I ask people, most of them, they really believing they have ADHD, they have a problem, something, is where they say, no, I don't have that. Which is your voice. This voice here, in this box, in your mind. Yeah, ADHD people has this voice. I have my own voice. I can listen myself. I can hear my voice talking to me, narrating everything I'm doing, things I've done, or narrating the next few seconds of something that I'm talking. So I'm talking about something and the voice is already saying something. And this happens 24/7. Non-stop. No. It's very noisy. The feeling you have is, it's noisy. Shut up. Too much. And I cannot. And if you're more anxious with something, if you're angry, this gets, and this keep talking to yourself. And then you have another characteristic. You have these thoughts in looping. So that's why we cannot finish something. We cannot finish a thought, because it keeps in looping, and anxiety. And then you want to and sometimes you blow up, and you be aggressive to someone. Sometimes you be rude or nasty to someone, because this creates a bit of impulsiveness, because you need to do something. And the voice is just that. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm singing, I'm creating music, I'm playing music in my head all the time. That's why I'm fidgeting, because in my head I'm playing music, like drums, and then I keep fidgeting. And I don't even notice. Sometimes I'm watching a movie, my legs is shaking, like fidgeting, right? Or my son or my wife, they just like, hey, stop. I say, oh, I didn't notice. It was just happening. And then with the medication, is make this a bit soft. The voice never shut down, let's say, never get really quiet. But sometimes we create things that we don't notice, but helps us. For example, listen to very loud music or very intense music, like hardcore or heavy metal, right? This intensity actually calms us down. It's very weird, right? It's a bit, how do I say, paradoxal, right? The music is intense, and then put yourself in a more calm state, and even the voice get a bit calm. The problem of this, some people resort to harmful things like drugs or alcohol, things like that. And then they feel, wow, finally, I heard people like on internet, on videos saying like very heavy drugs that finally, when they experienced, they were partying, whatever, they tried, and wow, finally, my voice is quiet. So, and then they end up with addiction, they end up with problems with that, right? So I think that's the most common or most important characteristics of a ADHD person. So yeah, so that's what I would like to share with you guys. And yeah, to make it more clear, my intention here again is to share as much as possible from my own experience, from my personal experience. I didn't have a good life for most of my life. I struggle a lot, abuse, PTSD and other stuffs that I'll be talking in next videos and other videos because there is a lot to share. And I think it's time for me to share at my age and stage of my life, because I think there are people needing help more and more and more, right? So that's the end of the video. I hope you guys like it. If you like, please click the like button. And if you have any question of any sort, please put down below in the comment box. I'm more than happy to help. I'll try to help and answer as much as possible, and maybe make content based on that. That'd be interesting. Yeah, why not? Okay, guys, see you in the next video. Enjoy your life because I'm enjoying mine. Bye bye.